You read the title right. Chris Chan may have gotten his girlfriend pregnant. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially in the worst of all timelines. For those of you unaware, the woman that Chris is supposedly in a relationship with is a girl that goes by Flutter. I did a video some time back going into great detail on who she may be and what we know of her. Link in the description below. In that video, I theorized she may be a plant from the Prater group who monetize Chris, in an attempt to keep him agreeable and pliant. I thought the relationship was a sham, and that Flutter had no real attraction to Chris. But that may very well be wrong if Chris is speaking the truth and he hasn't been lied to. All of this stems from a comment Chris made in response to a donation during one of his latest live streams, where Chris would openly claim that a child is on the way.
When the child is actually coming into play, or somewhere around that point, or I just might keep y'all in the dark and let y'all know it wait till after the child is born.
When this story popped up, it became viral rather quickly, and the community reaction is one of shock, disgust, and fear for a potential child's future. As for me, I truly realize that we are in the darkest and worst timeline. After what Chris did to his mother Barb, I thought the most we would see of him would be the occasional stream and maybe a new Sonichu comic, and that would be the most of Chris's life, pandering for money on behalf of a company that pays him peanuts. But boy, am I wrong. This has to be one of the worst and most disgusting of potential outcomes. Many people are concerned that as the child grows, they may be sexually abused by Chris like he did to his own dementia-riddled mother. And I think that there is a legitimate concern for this. As for Flutter, her being a native of Finland opens up a lot of possibilities for Chris if they do have this child and even get married. Chris might move in with Flutter in Finland. She may even have enough money to support them both on her own, considering how often she takes flights to see Chris. A counterpoint to be made is that throughout their life, Chris has thought they were destined to have a child, a daughter named Crystal. Some believe that Chris's comment here is just that he's stating he intends to have this child of destiny shortly. I want this to be the case, but I really think this isn't the biggest chance. I think I may have been totally wrong in my last video on the two of them. If Chris was willing to make a prophetic statement like this about Flutter and a child, I think we would have heard about it by now, considering it's been years that she's been in the picture. I shudder to think what a child growing up with Chris Chan as a parent would be like. Constant, horrendous bullying from anyone who finds out and watches a documentary on Chris in school. Not to mention the troubles at home. Chris's delusions will only get worse and even more solidified as they age, and they've proven throughout their life that they're not responsible enough for a bank account, let alone a child. Flutter is a woman who is attracted to the kind of man that molested his mother, so I can't imagine she's either of good judgment or a good heart. And I wouldn't be surprised if the worst of Chris's trolls involve or target the child in one way or another. Now, I want to speculate on how Chris's delusions may manifest with the birth of this future child. Chris currently fixates on himself being the incarnation of Jesus and God, so they may seek to incorporate their child into this somehow. The grandchild of God, daughter Chu Christ Chan? The point being is that this is only going to worsen and reinforce their delusions. I hope that whatever country they settle in finds at the very least Chris to be an incompetent parent and takes the child from them. That would be the best outcome out of a true spawn of Chris Chan scenario like this. There is also a chance, albeit a small one, that this is another control tactic from Prater. If Flutter is really working for them, that is. Back in the old days, with gal pals like Blanca and Julie, you would see developments like this to capture Chris's attention and, well, make a fool out of him on the internet. It's dramatic, and with someone who has lived their whole life gathering the ways that people are supposed to interact from cartoons and anime, this is what Chris believes to be true. If Prater was struggling to get Chris to be compliant, I could see the need for them to raise such a dramatic event to rehook him in whatever way they do behind the scenes. This is the saddest and worst news to come out of Chris Chan's story since the Barb incident, and I'm certain it won't be the last at this point. I hope, beyond hope, Chris comes out and says that Flutter isn't pregnant and he was just trolling the donos back. Kind of a short one today, but I feel like this is such a development it deserves an immediate update. I'll monitor for any more developments out of this and get back to you if I find something. Fuck man, this is not what I wanted to see today, but as always, thank you for watching the Bazaar.